That was
Yeah.
How was it playing that scene?
I loved it. I had been emoting so much for years, and I couldn't wait for Serenity. I really couldn't. I think I worked really hard for it, but it's been an emotionally frantic thing to execute for me. And I actually, to be honest with you, was really psyched to just chillax and fall asleep. And I rubbed it into the boys' faces, and they had this thing where they would call me Easy Money, because all of a sudden they had to take over and they had to deliver really, really huge emotional stuff. But for me, it was a chance to just sit back, fall asleep, nod off, and hover on that sort of sleep. And that was the key for me to playing it. There was one moment which was really dark, and it was the first time. There was a moment where they actually dug me 6 feet under and put me in the coffin and closed the coffin and started shoveling dirt. And it was, I literally felt the fear and the paralysis and the awareness for me, like, I don't know what, there was literally a moment where my spirit just kind of jolted out of my, I don't know, it was just a really strange moment. That was the hardest thing for me. But yeah, it was sadder than I thought it would. I thought I felt like I thought I could rest on the laurels of my Eastern European stoicism about it. I was like, whatever, she dies. Like, I have these supercharged storytelling experience my whole career. It's always like, you have these really, and yet this one really hit me hard. Yeah, it did.
What was your experience being in a TV show for 4 seasons? I think it's the first time, right?
It's the first time, because I've done a couple where they've only been to 13 episodes, and I loved this role. I love my collaborators. I have such close friends now, and you can see that chemistry on scene. You can see how we absolutely adore each other, and how close we are, and how affectionate we are, and that just, I think it just comes across. And so, that's a cool thing for me to experience, because usually when you work so long with people, there's no lukewarm attitude. You're either going to love each other, or you're going to come out the other way. And I adore them. Yeah.
You'll be producing the next season.
I have been, yeah. I've had executive producer, yeah. And I think in the capacity that I do is I just, I've always been very, very vocal about my ideas and making sure, I'm on set every day, so making sure that tonally everybody's on the same page. I've directed before, so the boys will tell you that even though I haven't directed a single episode, I'm always directing them. I'm always, bossing people around and doing my thing, and they let me. And in that respect, I think is where you see executive producer. I'm always kind of doing backup directing. I am. It just has been the case. And this year they've also, what I really love is that, because after I directed Higher Ground, I think one of the most enriching experiences for me to be a part where I thrived, and probably if I didn't do what I do, I would be an editor.
Oh, okay.
And I love that process. And this year they made me privy to all the footage, and I was able to see director's cuts and give them my impressions and ideas. So that was really fun for me to do as an executive producer this year.
Are you looking forward to this next season where it's going to be more intimate scenes between you and Freddie as Norman, where it's just the two of you, because that's all it can be?
They have, I have no idea. I have no idea what's in store. They haven't. I don't even know how I'm going to approach Mother. I don't know until they give me some words, and I haven't seen a single page of season 5. So I only imagine that they have no rules anymore. So they're throwing all the rules out, and because she's there, they chose her. They chose to push her out that season 4 window, and she's fallen 12 stories high like a hefty cinch sack filled with vegetable soup, and now Norman's got to pick up all these pieces. These fractured pieces of his psyche. So I think it's gonna be very interesting. I have no idea what's in store, but I'm game for it.
You've done Motel, and you've also done Conjuring 2. Do you really enjoy doing horror?
I think Bates never. I don't look at it as a horror. There's horrifying events that happen to real people, but there's nothing supernatural, or there's nothing. It really is, to me. I always treat it like a delicate love story, and that's my approach. So even in, to be honest with you, Conjuring, it's like we've taken that genre, we've turned it on its head. When have you ever seen song and dance number and love stories as a part of a horror film? And so I don't approach them in. I don't know what that even means. I look at my characters and I'm always, I'll be wowed by them in terms of who they are and what they've come through in life and where they're going, and that's how I approach it. And if it happens to be in a genre film, great. But the fact is, I've done almost, probably around 50 films, and only 4 or 5 of them have been horror. Yeah.
Thank you.